Determining ARV, that's a great question. If you don't have a real estate broker who can give you comps, and by the way, if the real estate broker giving you the comps is the listing agent, that's not very good resource, because it's like asking the barber how's the haircut. You don't want to get your opinion of value from the person selling it to you. So let's spend a little bit of time talking about comping houses. So in terms of comping a house, comps are comparable sales, and what you're looking for is things that are comparable. What is comparable? Okay, so we're looking for things that are location-wise less than a mile. Now, in a neighborhood where things are pretty tight, a mile is a long way. So you're probably going to start with the block, go outwards to the subdivision, and when you can't find stuff in the subdivision, you go to another subdivision that's nearby, within the mile radius, that has similar age, style, price values of homes to get your comps. Okay? Now, by the way, where can you get these comps? All the major websites like Zillow, Redfin. They're not in every city, Redfin, but if not, they're Trulia, Trulia. So Zillow, Redfin, and Trulia, those are your three best ones. And don't go by the automated valuations that they give on those websites. Those are not accurate all the time, okay? If you're totally lost on value, you can use it as a benchmark. But when Zillow says the, quote, Zestimate is $240,000, that's not necessarily accurate. Look at the raw data. Look at the things that have sold in the area. Look at the things that are for sale in the area, and try to come up with an extrapolation. So we're looking at things that are within a mile, preferably in the same block or in the same subdivision or in a similar subdivision. Stuff that is similar in style, ranch to ranch, two-story to two-story. There's a pecking order depending on parts of the country you live in. Generally speaking, though, the two-story colonial with the bedrooms upstairs is going to have the highest value. And then you're going to have, sometimes you have raised ranches, bi-levels, raised ranches, tri-levels, and regular ranches. Those are, depending on part of the country, roughly equivalent. And then you have what's called a bi-level, which is where you walk in and it splits up and down, and the bedrooms are in the basement, but it's not really a basement, it's like half above ground, half below ground. Those are the lowest end of the pecking order of things. So, and it depends on the part of the country. Like in some areas, ranches, especially where it's hot, ranches tend to be more valued than two stories, which can get hot upstairs. So, but generally speaking, you want to compare style to style. Obviously, the low end, the bi-level compared to a two-story colonial are not the same thing. Okay. Size. This is a tricky one. Now, when you're comparing size, the size of the house, there's two measures. There's bedrooms and baths, and then there's square footage. So you want to compare 3 bedrooms to 3 bedrooms, 2 bedrooms to 2 bedrooms. You can compare a 3 and a 4, but generally not a 2 and a 3, because the biggest jump in value is between a 2-bedroom and a 3-bedroom. So a 1-bedroom to a 1-bedroom, or maybe there are some small houses like that. I'd probably stay away from them, but 2-bedroom, 2-1 and a 2-2 are comparable. A 3-1 and a 3-2 are comparable. A 3-2 and a 4-1, they are comparable. But a 2-1 and a 3-2 or a 4-2 are really not comparable, because they're totally different price points. Now, in terms of square footage, plus or minus 25% is comparable. So what a lot of people do is they'll listen to a realtor who says price per square foot is this, and this house is X square feet, and this house is more square feet, so price per square foot it's worth more. So for example, let's say we had a house that was 1,000 square feet and was worth $100,000. Okay, and that was a 3-bedroom, 2-bath, 1-car garage, a 3-2-1. Okay, another house, 1,200 square feet. Okay, 3-bedroom, 2-bath, 1-car garage. Now this one is basically it's 1,000 square feet. Okay, and it's worth $100,000. So ergo, this is 1,200 square feet. It should be worth 120, right? Using the price per square foot method. Wrong. Wrong, 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 wrong. This is a mistake a lot of people make. If they're the same configuration, 3, 2, 1, this one is not worth 20% more. In most cases, it's not worth any more. It's probably worth something more because this extra 200 square feet is some value. So if the extra 200 square feet, let's say, is a laundry room. Is a laundry room worth $20,000? Absolutely not. But if the kitchen is twice the size, will it add value? Yes, maybe 8 or 10, not 20. Or if it's basically the same layout, but it's the bedrooms and the living room is just a little bit bigger, and that's where the extra square footage is, there'll be no difference in value at all, if any at all. Okay, so it should be, you know, if it's a 1,000 square foot house, anything from 750 to 1250 is comparable, assuming it's the similar or same number of bedrooms and baths. Okay, and again, you adjust a little bit for features and benefits, but it's not a 20% difference. Don't get caught in that trap, especially with condos. People get caught in that trap. It's 3 bedroom to 3 bedroom, 2 bedroom to 2 bedroom, plus or minus for the bathrooms and or the garage. Okay? Now, so what else is comparable? Location, style, size, time. Technically, you can only go out 6 months. So anything that's sold more than 6 months prior is not comparable. That's for appraisal purposes, but for our purposes, quite honestly, if I was looking at a condo, we'll get into condos a little bit later. If I forget, someone email me, because I want to talk about flipping condos. If you had a condo across the hall from your condo you're looking at that sold 9 months ago, and you had a condo across the street in a different development that sold 1 month ago, which one is most comparable? Well, an appraiser is going to say the one across the street because it's within 6 months. But you and I know the one across the hall is the best comp because it's right there. You also have to take into account for things like seasonal differences. So if you're in June and looking to flip something potentially after it's fixed up in August, or the person you're selling it to is, that number will be higher in most markets than it would have been the comps you're using from December the year before or January, February in the wintertime. So seasonal fluctuations, the market in general, if it's going up, then accounting for the future value of ARV. Keep that in mind, by the way. We look at both properties that have sold as well as properties for sale. Because when you're looking to flip a property, what's sold is for comparable purposes is for lenders. But for the purposes of resale, it's competition. You want to look at what's for sale, okay? Because that's the important part. So it might be higher or lower than what's sold, depending on where the market is going, the season, or just weird fluctuations. Like you get someone who just says, "I got to dump my house," so they dump it and they put some real low price, and it's killing all the other comps. You have to understand, regardless of what what the comps show behind you, if someone is way low and skewing the numbers in the future, that's going to hurt you. Okay, so we look at both things that have sold, things that are for sale, using these factors: location, style, size, the age of the comp, and so forth, to come up with an extrapolation of what the house is worth. And again, in an increasing market, particularly if you're moving towards the summer months, you could say the ARV, the comps show 150, but the market is moving in the summer months up 3 to 5% a month, let's say, for example. Then the future price when the property is fixed up and offered for resale in the future in July versus in March would be worth more. Okay, so you can extrapolate upwards or extrapolate downwards. If you're buying a property in October, November that would go on the market in December, it's got to adjust downward for the season. Does that make sense? Yeah, generally speaking, Thanksgiving through January 1st, worst time to sell a house. Great time to buy a house, bad time to sell a house. Because people are paying attention more to the holidays. Okay, so keep that in mind, that if you buy a house in October, November, even though it only may take you a month to fix it, you might be looking at January or February before you put it back on the market, which is longer holding time, which calculates in your wholesale numbers. Okay, so those are comparables, and you can do that on Zillow, on Redfin, and on Trulia, so forth, and come up with a reasonable number. And also you might want to ask, if you have a buyer's agent, ask them for comps as well. Ask the listing agent for their comps. And particularly with the MLS, they can show you properties that are under contract, and those are the best, because that's the freshest stuff. You may not have closed yet, but if it's under contract, that's time-wise, that's as immediate as it can get. So very, very good information. And usually under contract prices are not available on these websites.